Here we are at the start of the half marathon, just come over Otley Bridge and on this little short stub of a road, and this marks where we're going to get you going from. So form up nicely behind me here and we turn right on the public footpath, which is the Welcome Way. This section, the half marathon, do more of the Welcome Way than the rest of the courses, who have gone round the back from Otley just to add a little bit of distance on. At the end of the first footpath, it's called Green Lane, we come out to Western Lane. There you go, just got Green Lane, and we turn left at the top and we take the first right onto Western Drive. And then as you come into Western Drive, just where that no cycling sign is, and the footpath that goes straight on with the older people's accommodation to the left, keeping by this little brook, we go straight on up, so we turn right off of Western Drive. At the top of that footpath, we go to the right and out to the road, and that's Kelbeck going underneath the road and over to the other side. And again, you'll see quite a lot of these little signs. At the moment it says we're on the Sixdales Trail. They do split in a bit, but at this section they're the same. So we go up this footpath, and for those that did the original Welcome Way back in 2017, which was our first ever race, the start location was in the field that's just coming up on the right, and that's an old school annex, and that was where we held registration. Where you actually left the start was where we had the car park for that event, and then it was only an ultra at the time, we didn't do shorter distances, and there was a quick one lap of that park just to separate the field out, because there's a little narrow anti-cycling gate there, and to try and get everybody through that in one go rather than queuing up. So you come across this little bridge and turn right and carry on. For the most part we're now going upwards to Clifton before we then head off over to Denton. Up some steps along the Ginnel, and when we get to the top we cross the road and carry on along the Ginnel. In fact, we've got both signs now. We've got Sixdales Trail and Welcome Way. Now at the end of that Ginnel we're going right. There's actually a sign on there, somebody's done a handmade sign saying Sixdales Trail. We're still on the joint trail, so we turn right and we carry on along St David's, keep on this road for probably 100 yards or so, and then we're heading off to the left, so you need to keep your eye out for a footpath going off on the left. As the road bends round to the right, that's where our footpath sign is, public footpath, Clifton and Western, Sixdales Trail. And so we head up this Ginnel and leave Otley behind us. As we round the corner near the top of that Ginnel, we come to a kissing gate, and there are two footpaths off from here. Don't go on the one straight ahead, we're going to the one to the left and straight up that hill there between the trees to the left, so keep as much to the left as you can. That footpath as we go up here is known locally as the Giant's Bum, so it's your chance to go up the Giant's Bum. I'm afraid it's all brown and slippery up the Giant's Bum today, so just watch out, here's a bit greasy underfoot. At the top the footpath isn't massively distinctive, but you're heading for the far corner. you can see probably the biggest tree in the field, sort of straight ahead and to the right, and you're going diagonally across towards it, and the exit to the field is just to the right of that. As we get towards that big tree, the footpath does become a little bit clearer, and we're going straight ahead to that gate. At the gate, this is where the Six-Tails Trail and Welcome Way split. So the Six-Tails Trail goes off to the left and the Welcome Way goes straight across, and in this field there's a little bit of a ridge line, you might be able to see it, and you just head straight across this to begin with, and then you'll see the gate. I think it's just slightly off to the left when we get to the other side of this field. As you're crossing this field, if you do get the chance to just have a quick glance behind you, you can see the Chevin behind slightly to the left, Otley in the dip, and then you've got Ilkley over that way, and you can see Ilkley Moor and Burley Moor, and that's Menston over there, and that's where the courses go round to. Over at the other end of the field we've got a gateway which we're going through, but that one's not normally locked, but if it is, you can always climb over the fence there. And the next one, it's shut, but with quite a lot of the gates on this section of the course until we get to Denton, there's usually a stone step style option next to the gate. So save you having to open the gate, you can go on this one, it's slightly to the right, and you can step over it. Some of the gates can be a little bit tricky to open and close, so on all of them you've got a way to climb over, and then you go off to the left. At the top of the next path there's a gate, but again there's also stone stile which you can climb over, and when you do so we're going left up the lane to the top, and at the top we rejoin the Six-Tails Trail for a very short bit, just this road section, and we turn right and carry on going uphill and into the hamlet of Clifton. As we get to virtually the top of this section now, you've been running uphill virtually all the way from the start. The footpath goes off to the left just here, and the other courses have joined you from that way. So we turn left here to Top Row, and as you come up to these houses, hope that van's not going to be part of there, because you go to the left public footpath, Asquith 2¼ miles. I'll just squeeze through, and you go down here, turn right and go through the gap in the laurel hedge. A little bit of a drop down, turn right, and you can see cleverly put down there, there's a little sign saying footpath. The Welcome Way used to go through the gardens of those homes there and emerge here, but it made a lot of sense to redirect it around that little bit there. So as we come through to these stables, we go straight through and across this field. Nice little push gate there. Morning. There's a yeah, and then if you just come around here you can see the gate in the field, which we're going through that one as well, and across, keeping in the same direction, but in the next field we're dropping to the far right corner, and in the right corner there's a gate, and again there's a little stile beside it. Go over the stile and follow straight in roughly a straight line, going slightly left across this field to the far corner of this one as well. And in the far corner of this field there's like a stone that we have to negotiate. There's also this little beck as well, but there is a way of getting it across just there, going through, and we cross this little access track and keep to the right of the hedgerow, and the footpath carries along on this side of the field right to the end of this side. At the end of the field there's a little wooden stile that's probably seen better days, which goes into a short wooded area, and if we keep to the path, it's not quite so easy to see, but we go across quite a wet, foggy bit, and then that leads round to the exit there, which is a gate in the corner, and then the footpath follows up to the farm. As we come up to the farm, there's another gate here, and then into the farm, and we're taking the gate opposite, so don't actually go into the farm itself. Through the gate, and it's not so easy to see here, but we're going diagonally across in that line there. So how to describe this: there's a biggish tree there, follow along the wall, you can probably just about see the sign in the wall, and there's no easy way to say this, so you're not heading towards that gap or the gap down there, sort of in between, and you can see Ilkley Moor in the distance. There's a bit that drops down, and it's just below that. But like I say, if you're looking out, assuming it's not misty, if you're looking out, you can see the gate. As you get closer, it becomes a little bit more obvious, and there's a little corner of the wall in front of you, and you go to the right of that corner of the wall to the stile. Over the stone stile, and we're heading in the same direction. Probably the easiest way here is you can see a telegraph pole in the middle of the field. If you keep to the right of that, you'll be all right. Here we go. As we're getting towards the telegraph pole, we can see the steel gate straight ahead. Through the gate, over the bridge, and bear round to the left. Keep on the lower ground with that big tree to your right, and that took us into a field, and there's a house on the right and a gate ahead, and then we follow out to the road. When we get out to the road, we're turning right, and of course going uphill, and there's a welcome way sign there. At the top you've got Grasgarth Farm, and there's a gate there, and like an outbuilding there. We turn left and go behind the outbuilding, watch out for that gutter, and the footpath is ahead, and go over the stile and go diagonally across the next field to the left. Over the stile, it's not immediately obvious, but you actually head between the two biggest trees, and the footpath, as you get between the trees, is fairly clear then, and it leads you down the hill to the far corner of the field, which we can just about see through the trees there. There's a wooden fence at the end of a stone wall. We can pick up the footpath now, it's a little bit more distinct here, and then just follow that round, keeping that fence to your right and out the corner down there. As we come down to that wooden bit of fence, we see that there's a stile over the lower part of it, so over that stile and then keep to the right hand side of the field. The end of that field just curves round right into like a little alcove by a tree, and there's a stone stile over the wall, and then we carry on in the same fashion with the edge of the field to the right. Through the gate, and we're heading over to the left, staying in the field. Oh, another one that opens out. There we go. And we're going past that corner of the field there, slightly to the left. When we get to the corner of that field, that one there, we don't go into that one. If you look straight ahead, you can see a yellow top post. That's the route. So when you're through that gate, we go forward and join this little track, and that track then turns right and goes up towards the farmyard. So we turn right, little FP sign, footpath there, go through this gate and then turn left. As we're leaving that farm, we come down a short descent to a ford, and depends on how much rain there is as to how full it will be, as to how wet your feet will get. But go across the ford and out to the left and up to the road. When we get out to the road, we turn left, go downhill for a short distance, not very far, but you probably want to cross over about here, get a better view of the road, and we're taking the next right. So after a very short distance, we're going right. Don't miss this turn, otherwise you'll end up in the village of Asquith. And we turn right and we go up this enclosed footpath. At the end of the enclosed track, through the gate, and carry on straight up on the dirt track to the end. At the end, the dirt track bears round to the left. Don't go through the gate ahead, keep round to the left. On that track you get to a new enclosure. Go to the left of the enclosure to carry on the footpath. Don't go into that enclosure. And shortly after the enclosure, go past a stone that's in the ground there, and we can see the stile ahead, and we'll cross that stile into the next field, and we're heading for the trees straight ahead, the ones in the foreground. So keep the pond to your right and keep going to the corner of those trees beyond. It's a bit soft underfoot after that pond, so what we're looking for is this small tree here, and we're turning off to the left, and there's a little sort of gully here, and after the tree we're following that gully down and out of this field to a road. So I'll just keep to the left of it. Here we go, and that leads down and out. Now there is a fallen tree here, you can quite easily get underneath it. It has been reported, but I don't think it'll get cleared before the race, so just be careful coming down here. It's a bit stony. In previous years this has been fast flowing water down here, so again it shows just how dry the course is in comparison to previous years. I know it was a bit grotty over that last field. I've just got to get underneath. There we go, and down to the gate, through the gate and up to the road and turn right. There used to be a stile there, it long since collapsed. At least it's just a simple push gate, and then like I say, we're up to the road and we turn right, going gently uphill again. Continuing on that track, on that road, come to a farm house on the left, and we continue on the private track. As the road bends round to the right, we go straight on, and there's a gate there to go through, and you used to have to climb that stile, but you don't anymore. You can see some yellow top posts, large yellow top posts, showing you the way. So we're through this gate, through the gap in the fence opposite, through the gap in the fence opposite, and then follow the tall yellow top posts around this next field. When you get to the second yellow topped post, the track leads around to the left. In fact, you can see the next one as you get there if you look to the left. So we're following along with this fenced off area to the left, and in a moment when we get to that yellow topped post, we'll be going round to the right, because we're going over there to that gate which leads out of this field. There we go. At that turn, we can see there's another yellow top post off in the distance, nicely waymarked for us. So through this gate, and then at the yellow topped post we're turning left and going into the woods. You've got an option as a style or an easy gate to go through. There we go, and follow across a little bridge over a river, and it's signed again through these woods. Follow the signs. In the early days of the Welcome Way, this used to be a massive stile, and we used to use somebody climbing over this in the snow as one of our advertising pictures. That's gone. We've got a very easy metal gate to go through, and even better, you can follow the yellow top posts all the way across this field. Before, it was a bit tricky to come across because you didn't know exactly what line to take. At the other side of the field, we still do have a wooden stile to cross, not a massive one, but we'll cross here and we can see the yellow top post opposite. Just a quick note, since doing the video recce, I have subsequently discovered that the Welcome Way is being rerouted, and you can no longer go diagonally across the next field. So when you get to that yellow top post, turn left on the road, go down to the corner where there's another yellow top post, and then keep going round to the opposite diagonal side of the field where the Welcome Way would have been. So you can't go this way anymore, you have to go down and round to this point, and then the video continues. Then at the other end of that field, we are on the road now, and we stay on the road all the way to the first checkpoint in Denton. At the end of Smithy Lane there's an old telephone box, and the checkpoint will either be there or somewhere in this area, or it may even be through in Home Farm. Marshals will direct you to it. There's a barn just in there which we use sometimes, which has got a toilet, so it'll be in this area. Leaving the checkpoint at Denton, you turn right, and then immediately left going downhill. As we come down that hill, when the road bends to the left, the footpath goes off to the right, and there's a stone stile taking us there. When the track bends round to the right and goes into the woods, that's private property. We go straight ahead towards the gate, and we stick to the right hand side of these fields. To go over into the final field of this section, and footpath carries along with the fence on the right. When the field bends round to the right, we cut across, and you can just about see that gate there. Opposite that wall, just before the wall seems to end. After the gate, a little footpath which then takes us down into a farm, and the end of this little bit of footpath, we go around to the right. So when we get to the farm, we're going round to the right. It's the only real option. On the track that leads through and out the other side, and just keep on that track out to the road. As we leave Beckfoot Farm, come to a road, turn left. My advice is to stay on this grassy verge on the left hand side, because we're going left at the bottom, and probably easier to stay on this side of the verge. It's a little bit lumpy, but it's doable. At the main road, as we leave Carter's Lane, there's some stepping stones over to the right if you're feeling really adventurous. I was originally going to take you over them, but perhaps not. A little bit treacherous at this time of year. So we turn left. This is the welcome way anyway. We turn left, and when we get to this little bridge, we need to cross. Just wait for that cyclist and car to come past, and then I shall do so. And if you cross, you'll see in the grass verge on the other side there's a path, and this path will lead you up to an old iron bridge. Here we are at the iron bridge, so we turn right and go over the river wharf. Just be mindful of the fact that this is a very narrow bridge, right? And we have to share it with cars, so you can just get down the side of it unless it's a big vehicle, so just be aware of that. And then when we get to the end, we're turning right, and my advice is to, if you can, cross straight away, because there's a traffic island and then carry on, and then at the traffic lights ahead, if you didn't cross there, there is a pedestrian crossing at the traffic lights, and you turn left and go up to Ben Reading. So that's pedestrian crossing if you prefer there, and we're going left up Wheatley Lane, and it's quite a drag now for the next couple of miles. So we go up here and underneath the railway bridge, and then we'll be going left. When the road bends round to the right, keep going straight on, and then just after that junction, turn left onto Ben Reading Drive, private road, and keep following this right to the top. At the top there's a retirement village, Clevedon, and we turn left on the public footpath and start our descent into Burley. Coming along that road, get to a bit, private land, no public access or right of way, and there's a public footpath sign to the right, and a stile and a little gate to go through on the right, with a short enclosed footpath which we take. And at the end of the footpath there's another little gate, and we go through that, and there's a ridge in the next field, and we stay on that ridge. In fact, as we stay on that ridge, I can actually see the gate at the far side of the field. It's in the far right corner. So we do drop down eventually, but you sort of keep on this high ground for most of the way. We've dropped down to the far side of that field, and you can see big gate, little gate, and then carry straight on the track. The road now, the track now bends round to the right. Does go straight on as well, but that's a bridleway, and we need to keep to the footpath and the welcome way, so we go slightly to the right and through this little wooden stile welcome way. There we go, and across this field to the far corner. The end of this field, pretty a broken stile. It looks like the gate works, so we'll go through the gate and carry on the footpath, and it goes straight on, although I think it's probably a bit boggy on the left hand side, so I think we'll go round to the right. Yep, that was definitely the right thing to do, to go round to the right of those trees. There was a little stream behind there, and it got quite wet, so At the end there, another little wooden stile to cross, and we're off into the field straight ahead. And as we come across that field, don't go towards the metal gate. There's a little tiny track across to a wooden gate, and that's our footpath. Okay, so it wasn't wooden, but it's a smaller gate, and that's the pedestrian gate. And if you look right ahead, you can see the yellow crossing point of the railway line which we're going down to. So straight down towards the railway crossing. It looks like a couple of really large yellow goalposts, and we'll have a couple of marshals down there waiting for you. When you get down to the railway crossing, we've got special permission from Network Rail to hold an event that crosses it, and there are conditions attached to this, because originally they didn't like the idea of a running event going across the railway line. So if the marshals stop you, you must stop. And actually you're the lucky ones, because what that means is you will get time credit for being stopped. The marshals will tell us who they've stopped, and it'll actually be worth your while from a time point of view. Anyone caught on the railway line, if there's a train in sight, will be disqualified. And also, the clue is you hear a horn shortly before they appear. There is a CCTV camera on this crossing, so Network Rail will be able to identify anyone that breaks that rule, and you've all got running numbers on, so we will happily pass on your details to them should that occur. I know it won't. We've run this event 11 times now, it's never ever happened, and like I say, it's actually in your interest if you're one of the lucky ones to get stopped, because you get a time credit. So please follow the marshal's instructions there. It is very important for the future of the race that you do so. At the bottom of the lane after Sun Lane Railway crossing, we turn right. At the end of Sun Lane, we go straight on down the Ginnel. The Welcome Way actually turns left, but we're going to go directly through to the checkpoint. The idea of it going left is that it goes through the centre of Burley, and with it being a walk as a welcome route, the idea is it takes you through town centres so that you can perhaps stop and have a coffee or whatever, and see what there is to offer. But with this being an endurance event, we don't need such luxuries. What do you mean you do? No, we don't. So we're going to head directly across. It also keeps us off the main road. When we come to the end of that Ginnel, having crossed a few minor roads, we turn left at the end, and you cross the road and you can see the footpath sign off to the right. So going right on the footpath and back into the Ginnels. Into that Ginnel, straight across Midgley Road and into the next Ginnel. At the end of that Ginnel, cross the road, and we're going down Mance Road to the end of Mance Road. At the end of Mance Road, turn right and cross whenever you can along here, because we're off left shortly. Just after the bus stop, we're turning left into Langford Lane and going along that to the end. When the road bends round to the left and becomes Norwood Avenue, we just carry on Langford Lane right to the very end, and that's where we'll find the checkpoint. So this is where the second checkpoint will be located at Burley, just before you go to the park, and a car should be around here somewhere, depending on what's parked around here. And then we go out onto the park, and this is where the course is split. New gate, wrong side, here we go, this side. This is where the course is split. The half marathon goes off to the left and goes out to the main road. So as you're coming along that path leading away from the checkpoint on the half marathon, the path goes round to the right and you see there's a main road ahead. You actually take this little left off here, along the, coming off the sort of hardened path, and go onto a little mud track, and this will lead you round to the stile just round the corner here. There we go, that's your stile, and takes you out to the main road, to the roundabout. We go over this big stile and we cross the roundabout, get over the stile, cross the roundabout, watching out for traffic. And then go to the left, and then we're on the old road towards Otley, not along the main one. So we follow this road along right to its end. It's probably about a good half a mile or so to the end of it, where it rejoins the main road, the new Otley Road. So as you come down Otley Road, the old one, you've come down it for quite a way, and you come out to the new Otley Road, to the main road, and stick on the footpath on the right hand side and carry on towards Otley. And then when this footpath ends at this side, cross over to the other side, and the footpath starts on the other side. Then shortly after you've crossed over, the footpath starts to move away from the main road by a little lay-by, and you've got the River Wharf on your left, and it goes down Ginnell. So if you follow this Ginnell through, then when the Ginnell splits, don't go down the road, go left near to the river and go along the footpath that leads down by the river. That footpath eventually comes to an end into a car park in a small industrial estate, and you go into the car park and exit through the road there straight ahead. Then when you get out to the road, turn left by the post box, and there's Grove Hill Tennis Club on your right, and carry on along this road to the very end. At the end of Ilkley Road, keep going straight on past the Fleece pub on your left. Of course, if you're feeling like a pint, you could always drop in. Anyway, we're now on Westgate, and we carry on this for a short while, and we're going to cross over at the next pedestrian crossing. So just after Waitrose on the right, we're coming up to a pedestrian crossing, which we shall cross at. There we go, and turn left, so keep going in the same direction, and there's a Cross Pipes pub up ahead, and we turn right just after that down a little Ginnell. Here we are at the Cross Pipes pub, and immediately afterwards we turn right and we go up a little Ginnell, which at the top of this little rise by the litter bin turns round to the left. And as we drop down, there's the parish church on the right and the Navvies Memorial on the left, a tribute to the workers that died in the construction of Bramhope Tunnel, and that is a miniature of the tunnel entrance to pay tribute to those that sadly passed away building it. And then as we get down to the bottom, Downing Street, I think we went wrong somewhere, as we get down to the bottom of Church Lane, cross over the road and go down that Ginnell opposite Mercury Row, and there's a pedestrian crossing here to do so safely. So down Mercury Row, to the end where it comes out to Crossgate, at the far end where that car is. And at the end of Crossgate we're going left past Otley bus station and down to the main crossroads at the bottom with we're turning right onto Barrowgate, which is where the church and the finish is. So at the crossroads, Crossgate, Barrowgate, Wesley Street, Skipton Building Society, we're going across the pedestrian crossing and carrying on KD Carpets on your right, and as we carry along here the finish is just on this stretch of road. And it's at Otley Common where you registered this morning before we walked off to the start. Here we are, Otley Common, and the finish is inside